talking the whole time, and we're gonna leave. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? This is Ota Drew, Internet's earliest nerd. This is Eclectica. You know what time it is. We got CC, our Greek geek, on the checking.
Yes.
We got Charles Dixon, a.k.a. the Sensei Vegan, the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
And floating around in a broken PPP connection severed internet is our boy Seven, apparently lost in the ether. So you already know what it is. Sci-fi, video games, anime, everything else in between. You come for all that good stuff. I am your awkward, weird host, Drew, filling in just as long enough for Seven to kick back in and get his life together. And we got a special guest,
Putty
Dog. I call it fried chicken dog because that's how it looks.
He is fried chicken.
Since I don't know the dog's name. So, starting things off tonight, what do we have? Any sci-fi, anything? What are you guys interested in talking about today? We usually go by like a formula, but let's just freestyle it today. Forget it.
So, Best Buy and a few other stores are actually going to be carrying the last shipments of the NES Classic.
Yeah.
So, if you want to go get one, go jump your butt in line early tomorrow morning and see if you can get one, and this will be it. So, before you have to pay $1,000 for one.
I still think they'll bring it back for a limited edition run, but they probably want $1,000 for it anyway. So
I definitely think they'll bring it back.
Yes. And I'm not sure where we are in our photo status, but I believe, is it tonight or next week that American Gods premieres? That's the Stars show.
Oh, for real?
That's based on the book based on the book by Neil Gaiman, which is one of my all-time favorite books, period, of all time. One down, and season premieres. I want to say it was the 30th or the 30. So basically, the quick rundown for this show. It's we've got the old gods, you got Odin, you got Balder, you got Easter, you have all these different deities that have existed for centuries, versus the new gods, which represent like our, I guess, modern goals when it comes to celebrity status, television, the internet, drugs, all that fly stuff. So these two factions, right, are coming together, and there's a war that's going to be brewing between the old gods and the new gods. And our story's protagonist goes by the name of Shadow. He is kind of caught in the middle, and he's supposed to serve some sort of purpose alongside a fellow named Mr. Wednesday. Now, if you're kind of clever and know your Norse mythology, you know which deity Mr. Wednesday is. But, so as not to spoil anything, because I read the book and I know there's a lot of people that still haven't yet, we'll keep that mum. We'll keep it quiet. And I'm hoping this is going to be good. But what I've seen so far, it stays pretty true to the book.
Right.
I do like the fact that they did go with, in the book, you come to find out that Shadow is actually mixed. He's half black, half white. Okay. And I was thinking when they announced the show that they're just going to switch up and just make him outright white because it's not important to his character. Once again, showing that when it comes to color, it shouldn't really matter if you're going to write a compelling character. And Shadow is definitely that. I like that they stuck with his original, style. And I'm just excited. I think it should be good. I don't know if you guys have read the book or seen anything of the show, but it'll be
I have not, but I'm really into mythology in general. So I love anthropology. I love mythology. I love history. So I'm super psyched about it. I mean, even if it is historical fiction, more or less.
It is, but they do, when you read the book, it does have a lot to do with the history of where these different bits of folklore and mythology come from and how they essentially were, through one circumstance or another, ported over to the Americas, hence why it's American Gods.
Yeah, it's low-key my favorite kind of science fiction, more or less. It's like that, either the prehistoric or the anthropology stuff.
Oh yeah, it definitely goes into stuff like that. It's the idea that these gods, these deities are fueled by our belief in them. And because belief has waned and switched on to modern sensibilities, they've become weaker. So there's this weird paradigm shift that's occurring from the old gods to the new gods. That idea of inherited power and the old gods trying to fight for their stay in existence. That to me was rad. That's what attracted me to the book, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll actually watch the show, then I'll go back and read the book.
The book.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do it that way. It's a tricky thing because it's like you get things from like an initial sitting reading a book that you'll catch in the series, which kind of just enhances the experience. But at the same time, you get when Game of Thrones comes into it, where they switch certain things. It's like
a damn tailspin.
Yeah, it'll throw you off. It'll be like, wait, that was supposed to happen in the book, and then you get confused and you want to go back and watch it again. There's pros and cons for both. There's no one good way of doing that. But yeah. So anything else we got, guys? I know we had some superhero news coming up this week.
True.
As it pertains to, let me just load up my little thing here. There's some dates that we have for the Marvel movies. There's a number of X-Men films that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel at this point it's a little bit tricky to navigate those because the timeline is so wonky that the next X-Men movie that we're getting, I believe, is going to be New Mutants.
Right.
So that's going to be Deadpool 2. And I'm kind of like, at this point, which timeline are we still going with? Is this in the continuity of Old Man Logan, or Logan, as we got it? Is this in the continuity of the Singer films, which has like the most installments? I think it's like 6 movies now. Or is this more along the lines of something else where they're just rebooting it, like how they did with Star Trek? I don't know. James McAvoy's still involved in New Mutants, so I'm assuming it's going to go with that one. But I don't know.
If they would come out and let people know, hey, this is a new Marvel universe, you understand? It's like they really don't put a title on it. So if you're your average moviegoer, we know more than most. You understand? We go to the movies.
Right.
So that's why it's so mixed up to us. But, I mean, they should at least let people know what universe they're dealing with, man, because it is kind of scatterbrained all over the place.
Yeah.
It's why when it comes to making, if you're sitting down trying to make a film franchise, for my own personal view on it as an outsider, I feel that if you're going to sit down and make these films into a film series, have a beginning, a middle, and an end for where you want it to go, and leave the end just open enough to where if you want to continue it, you can just keep going. Like, I feel like there's a lot of guesswork when it comes to these movies, and there's no, I don't want to say solidarity.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's no collaboration in terms of the storylines and making them all.
It's like everybody's just kind of throwing their hat in, but there's no inherent beginning, middle, or end.
Right.
And that can make for a problem. Like, we've seen the X-Men movies, we don't know, to the point where they're even making self-referential jokes in Deadpool, where it's just like, which kind are we talking about? Is this McAvoy or is this Patrick Stewart? Because you can never keep the crap straight. Right. And now that we got Deadpool 2 coming out, where there's time travel involved because it's going to have cable, I'm like, which canon are we following? Which timeline is this? I don't know. It's so confusing. But, sure. Oh, so jumping on the Marvel thing, did you guys see the trailer for Cloak and Dagger this week?
No, stop it.
I was looking at the trailer today and didn't see it.
It's up there. You guys can get it whenever. I'm not expecting it to be good. Let me just throw that out there now.
That's a good thing, though.
Because it's going to be on Freeform, which, for those of you who kept abreast of such things, that used to be ABC Family. And that whole channel was just on some real teeny bopper, let's just make sure that everyone's cute and has real stupid relationship problems. It's like it makes CW look like HBO in comparison.
No, don't say that.
It's that light. It's light, dude. It's so light, but...
Now, what is it? Now, is it a movie or is it going to be a series, Cloak and Dagger?
This is going to be a series. For those of who aren't familiar with Cloak and Dagger, you're not alone because there's a lot of people that don't know about them. Okay. They're a superhero duo, and Dagger is a chick, and she has the ability to create light constructs. And Cloak is the polar opposite of that, and he basically absorbs darkness and he has access to this weird nega dimension. He essentially is his own singularity,
like a black hole, basically.
Yeah, he's like a walking black hole, and their powers are kind of like.
Oh, you mean like my ex?
I don't want to say reliant.
Stop
it. I didn't hear what Seven came back.
He said like his ex, of all lines to drop.
A black hole? Yeah, sure. You can think of it like that.
Oh, gosh.
So.
On the side of the fence, man.
The idea.
And I'm back, folks.
Yeah, he's back. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear him. Their powers aren't relying on each other, but they're connected. Like the power sets are connected to each other. What made them interesting was the fact that you were more interested in their friendship as opposed to just them doing superhero stuff. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they're focusing on this trailer, from what I saw, the romance angle, because they're both cute, and I'm just like, I didn't see any superhero stuff until like the last 10, 15 seconds of the trailer, and I'm just like,
this is my issue with Cloak and Dagger, okay? And it could fall along the same lines as, I don't want to say Iron Fist. I don't see them being major role players. They're like supporting characters. Have them come in, do their thing, and then if it does well, you can sort of, lead into the other stuff. They're not carry that whole freaking series, man.
They can't carry the whole series. Yeah, this is like, I think you've mentioned this before. It's like not every character can be a prize horse.
They can't.
Cloak and Dagger are great supporting characters that this pertains to the comic books too, because the comics that I've read from them were just at best. Mm-hmm. Their relationship is what you're focused on. That being their friendship, right? They're great supporting characters. If you have a stronger cast of characters that are around them, and they're kind of like the satellites that assist while they're going through their own personal stuff, great. An entire series of them, I don't know if I can go do that.
I don't see that happening, man.
Yeah, that co-relationship, I depend on you too much thing, I can't deal with that for a whole series, guys. I can't.
No.
I just can't.
It takes away from the characters themselves a little bit. I don't know.
But you would think that when they go to make these series, they would lay it out. Okay, this is who we have. These are the main characters. Who can we bring in to support? It would make for a slamming show.
And that raises an issue too, because it's like, I don't know all that much about Cloak and Dagger, but I know that when it came to like their rogues gallery, who do they really go head up against? That would be interesting.
That's the thing. Nothing comes to mind. If you can't think of that off the bat, they're not that interesting.
And there's also the issue that they may have interesting enemies to go up against, but there's the chance that they may not have access to them because of that whole stupid copyright intellectual properties thing, because everything is all scattered among the different companies and stuff like that between the comics and the films. So, I don't know. It looks dicey.
You know what? Charles, you brought up a good thing, which makes a really good segue. Dun, 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 dun. The rumor is Infinity War and Avengers 4 are no longer filming simultaneously.
I did hear about that.
Now, that's Marvel's, I guess, key secret ingredient to keep continuity between all these films is that they randomly put, we're going to do something with Black Panther, we're going to put him in the next film, and then boom, we're going to do this. We're going to end this movie and do a segue into Thor, then this one, and then go back to the Hulk, then flip back to... That's been their thing. Marvel, to not film simultaneously, are they slowing down, or is something going wrong in the camp? What do you guys think?
I'm sorry.
No, you go, Charles. Go.
No, ladies first, CC.
No, you don't have my thoughts not really complete.
It's not together yet. You're funny. My thing would be, I don't know if this is correct, is that number one, if it's not broke, why fix it? If this formula has worked for them for years, why do they want to change it now? But on the other hand, like we've been saying, are they starting to run into these character problems, being all scatterbrained all over the place, that they can't get their hands on all the characters on what they want to do? So, I don't know. But my thing is, it's not broken. The formula is working for them. Why change it, man? Yeah. But it could be copyright laws that are maybe affecting what they can get their hands on and what movies they can make and how far they can go. So, I don't know. But I wouldn't change it because it's working.
Yeah, maybe. I feel that it's may have something a little more to do with the fact that certain people's contracts are about to be up. I know Chris Evans' contract is about to be up after this next Avengers movie.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. I think he has just like one or two left. And then they're either will go about renegotiating his contract so they can bring him back, or that'll be it and they'll move on with a different character. So it would be, I think, in good taste for them to just, certain characters that die off in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, leave them be. Leave them be. Let them go out on a strong note and just pick up with a different character. When it comes to Tony Stark, they're going to have problems.
Same thing with Captain America. If they
but
Civil War,
X-Men, all of it. I mean,
I feel that Cap's thing has a little bit more of a plan to it. If you notice, there's certain instances in Civil War, as well as Winter Soldier, where they hint that Bucky would take over after Cap dies. That could be a thing. Him being in Wakanda at the end of Civil War is like the setup for when after Cap dies in Infinity War, they're going to pull him out of cryosleep, right? And Black Panther's going to be like, yo, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your boy Cap is dead, and we kind of need you out there. So get your ass up. Get up. I'm sorry I beat the crap out of you. We need to go out there.
Reattach his arm
right now. So,
or just the best thing they could do, in my humble opinion, is have a black Captain America. Totally flip it.
Not Hawkeye. What's his name? Falcon is actually the new, right? Falcon takes over.
In the comics, yeah, I feel let Falcon just matter on his own. It's not that I'm against the idea of him being Captain America. In the comics, it makes sense because him and Cap have been like boys for years. Right. And after Winter Soldier was him for a stint, he was the next one in line. He's earned that mantle. I feel that Falcon in the cinematic universe, as it is right now, Anthony Mackie's great in that role.
He is. He plays.
He does awesome things, but he's never really.
He want to be somebody else so bad, though.
Yeah, I don't know. After establishing him as a good character, now we're going to switch him up and transition him to this other role where it's just like I feel like that's just them kind of. Here, guys, be satisfied. Now you have a black character that's doing important stuff. But
that's not the same Captain America as the Isaiah Bradley one. He's Captain America on his own merit, right?
Exactly. He was the first.
Yeah, they should do that.
Yeah. He actually predates. Am I saying that wrong? Am I a liar right now? No, I want to say that he predates our other guy,
Steve Rogers.
He predates Steve Rogers. Again, that'd be a cool idea, but when you tell him, the first Captain America was actually black. What are you talking about? People get like all.
Well, if it does happen, you heard it here first on Eclectica. But I'd like to ask you this, and I know, Drew, you're gonna have an opinion.
Oh God!
I've been waiting for this one. So,
oh boy,
it's really weird right now because everybody wants to be sci-fi fantasy all of a sudden. David Hasselhoff is he allegedly just released a song that's supposed to be for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So he's branding himself and pushing himself within this.
David Hasselhoff?
David Hasselhoff. Of all the people, right?
The Hoff.
The Hoff man, Knight Rider.
Guy that played one of the original Nick Furies and probably the worst
Nick Fury.
movie ever. I like
in that classic craptacular Nick Fury movie. Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah. Oh God, I remember that one.
Miley Cyrus is playing one of the voices of the characters for Galaxy 2 coming out. I don't know which one.
I guess.
Yeah, do you guys know which one by any chance?
Yeah, I'm really gonna invest in who Miley Cyrus is playing.
Right.
I don't know, but I'll be able to pick her out. Maybe not. If I don't catch it, I'm not losing sleep on it. I heard about that. I heard about David Hasselhoff because I'm pretty sure that's a nod back to him doing "Hooked on a Feeling" because he did an iteration of that, didn't he? Am I flipping out?
Oh wow.
He did a version of that one, so I think that's a callback to that one, that particular song. And that's all right. Let Hasselhoff do his thing. Let him get his bread. Let him get his Marvel money. He did. He was willing to take a chance on a Marvel property long before they became like a hot commodity. So he can get grandfathered in. That's cool.
Definitely.
I'm a fan of the Hoff.
Yeah. I remember
Baywatch.
On the show.
Original superhero.
Show.
Yeah.
So, but do you guys feel any kind of way of stars just hopping on the Comic-Con, the Geek nerd bandwagon?
That's what they've been doing for years now.
They've been doing it. It's nothing.
Well,
yeah, it's nothing new.
It's nothing new, but now it's to the point where everyone's giving out shout-outs. Now, I love this woman, okay? Now, Rosario Dawson. But now she's trying to put things out there that, she wants to play Ahsoka. in the Star Wars universe. And it's interesting. People are now putting out rumors, and executives are looking at the rumors and making it happen. And agents are like, let's make this real. And
it really depends. It's not as, because see, once again, we're outsiders, but I'm like, it's not as easy as saying, I want to play this role, and then 3 weeks later, they're playing the role. Like, every actor, if you notice, when they get approached by something, hey, would you like to be involved in this popular franchise? What are they going to say? No, I don't really need to get paid or anything. Hang out. Of course you're going to ask if, like, I heard there's Eddie Redmayne. They're like, hey, so if someone approached you to be to the new iteration of Doctor Who, would you do it? What is he going to say? No. Yeah, he's like, yeah, of course I would. True. So it doesn't always translate to, this character said he would do this role. That means he must be doing the role. Because this character wants to be this character. Of course, she's going to be this character in 3 weeks. Like, no, dude. So it's just rumor. That's just how Hollywood works.
Did you know that Michael Jackson wanted to play Willy Wonka?
I heard about that. That would have been so awkward. So
stupid.
It would have been so strange.
It would have been interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, he might be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, I think if he'd have done an iteration of Willy Wonka, the music would have been off the charts good.
Yeah, the music would have been off the soundtrack would have been off the chain.
Soundtrack would have been freaking lit. Like,
it would have been the best Willy Wonka soundtrack ever. For
probably.
Sure.
I don't
he did the Wiz. He had to fight to get the partner Wiz as the Scarecrow, and he slammed down with that.
He did a good job on that. That is true. He did a good job.
Yeah, and the Wiz was kind of all over the place, but I did remember watching that as a kid, like all the time. And that was great.
It was so
the songs
stupid.
are dope for the most part. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna watch Supernova? The official title is called Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix. Dark
Penis. I was like, what?
Phoenix. Phoenix.
Very different movie.
X-rated version.
Dark Phoenix, the official title of the new X-Men.
They're okay.
Cartoon.
I'll let you guys go first because I'm.
Is
You're talking about anime with Nova, the Nova character. You're not talking about live action, are you?
Live action.
All
right.
Well, that's the rumor. That's the rumor.
I'm gonna say this one more time. You guys are gonna hear me reiterate the same thing. Nova is a supporting character. That's just me, man.
From Nova Corps?
Yeah, Nova's do with the yellow,
he's
like
got the blue. He's got the big bucket helmet. Actually, I'm gonna contest that. I don't see that. I don't see
Nova.
I can see it. And here's my angle for it.
Happening.
If you're gonna turn Nova into a live action thing, if not a film outright, I think that you could pull that off as a sci-fi series. Yes. If it has more of like the feel of Battlestar Galactica that had Edward James Olmos in it. I think you could pull off a Nova series that was like that. You could make it messed up. You could make it bleak. You could make it fun. But I think Nova he's an untapped property. He's one of the gems out there. I feel that everybody wants to sleep.
That's true. The right people to pull that thing off. And I think at this point right now, man, they're playing poker with a lot of these characters. And it's like no real thought is gone into it. It's like, okay, who can we get our hands on?
Yeah, who we used 8 million times already that we know we can get our money back for. And that ties into the Phoenix thing. I'm actually irritated with that. Because you set up an X-Men Apocalypse, right?
Yep.
Of course, they use the whole Deus Ex Machina thing where Jean just goes OP. And that hints to the whole Dark Phoenix saga. And I'm like, that's where you guys are going to go with that again, aren't you? Where she can't control the power. And she starts blowing crap up, and she starts wasting people. And not that it's not a good arc, but again, my issue is the same thing with that I had with Spider-Man. Can we do something else?
Right,
like,
they're running Jean right to the ground.
Yeah. Why does Jean have to keep going psychic mode? Yeah, and that's like the only thing. There's way more things that happen to the X-Men than that, for starters.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's like seems like it's the default for them.
And there's this. It's almost like this fetish with her like dark side as opposed to her.
Because because she's a Mary Sue. It's always fun to see the Mary Sues go off the reservation and go dark.
Right, the girl gone bad or whatever.
Yeah, when it's done well, it's like, oh, that was cool. Other times I'm just like, oh, great. She's, Miss Perfect. She can never do anything wrong.
Right.
So she goes off the deep end. She just, flips from being Mother Maria to Satan, and I'm like, okay, I've seen that done plenty of times. Can we do something else?
Yeah.
What I would like to see, I'm just throwing a generic character out there, like with Batman. How you would see, like in a cartoon, how you would go home, flip on the darn television, and an episode would come on. Why don't movies do that? You understand? We don't need to see the whole origin of Spider-Man, Batman, all these different things. It's just like grab an issue, a great issue from a comic, turn that crap into a movie.
And then, I fully agree with that one. Like, oh man. They kind of tried to do it with Spider-Man, but I feel we are going to get a little more backstory this time around. But it was a decent start. I would love to see something take place like with the Watchmen. You kind of got their origin story. You got the abridged version of where they each respectively came from. But you notice in the Watchmen movie, you were just kind of there. And the world kind of unfolded right before you. And these heroes were already pre-established. You just saw them kind of like doing their thing all after the fact. And then you learned who they were over the course of the film. That's great. I know that's how it should be with some of these superhero stories. Not everything has to be an origin story.
Well, what I would like to that's interesting because one of the rumors of this new script with Captain Marvel is that they're going to focus on the human side of Carol Danvers, which I thought is very interesting because not many people like beyond into this little world is into Captain Marvel. Far more the fact that there's a female version of Captain Marvel. So is it more important for us to believe that Captain Marvel has superpowers and establish what those are? Or is it more important, like one of our favorite Netflix shows, what's it called?
Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones, thank you. Jessica Jones, where it was really about her and she just happened to have powers. What do you guys think?
See, that you're comparing two very different beasts, dude. Jessica Jones was a psychological thriller, and Captain Marvel's going to be a space adventure or superhero origin story. So if you can't combine the two, because it can be real difficult to try to merge all that and form one coherent thing. But with Captain Marvel, I feel like they're going to do more of what they tried to do with Green Lantern and failed miserably. You have this character who's, very much human, fish out of water, she ends up in space, and it kind of will be the tutorial introduction to what Peter Quill had to go through in Guardians of the Galaxy, which they bypassed. You notice they just jumped from Peter being a kid to Peter being a big kid in space.
Right.
See how he acclimated to space. He had been taken in by the Merle, Space Merle, and his crew, and he just kind of adapted, but you don't see any of that. With Carol, they'll be able to take a step back and be like, okay, this is space. There's fantastical crap out here. Here you have superpowers. Figure out how to use them. Go do something great. Goodbye. That's how her film, I think, will play out ultimately.
So basically, it's really set up to fail.
No, it could almost be like Dr. Banner and the Hulk, in a sense. How you kind of ride on, you have the Hulk, then you have Dr. Banner, and they kind of play, intertwine that. So
they might try to make it more like Spider-Man, where they showed how, he was developing his powers, but then at the same time, especially in the second one or the one where he was in college and he was struggling with a lot of different stuff, and you got to see the more human.
Both.
I think it might be more along those lines.
They're gonna have to take their time and show what her power says, because not a lot of people outside of the comic fans know who Carol Danvers or Captain Marvel is.
Right.
So they're going to have to do that whole, this is what you can do, this is how you do it, and this is the capacity that you can operate in.
Right.
We'll see. I'll give it a shot. I don't think it's set up to fail, though.
Okay.
I don't think Marvel would do that on purpose, except maybe Iron Fist.
Tax write-off. Let me stop.
I would actually buy the Mrs. Marvel first, me personally.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll dish on it more. I think we're about to wrap it up. That was our show. Freestyled it today. So, Seven, can you talk now?
Yes, I can. So thank you so much for dealing. This is live, folks. We do this live.
Real life.
On SEVnetwork.com, SevNetwork.com. We're live, son. And we're ECLECTICKA.
This is the real deal, son.
And we know our stuff. We're giving you news that you're not getting nowhere else.
Fuck on y'all.
Thank you so much, Drew. As always, CC.
Always.
Sensei Vegan. And I'm 7. And of course, this is Eclectica. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. And stop being weird. Yeah.
Never.
But we're eclectic.
Never stop being weird.
Just be eclectic, exactly.
That's the whole point.
Be eclectic.
Weird out there.